I don't talk good sitting down. I'm going to stand up. So, the first thing I want to say is welcome, of course. Secondly, if you'll notice over here in the corner, we have a video camera going. We're going to put this on YouTube, and then it'll be linked to our website, so be mindful of that. As Sam said, we are a Christian-based organization. So, a few things we want to discuss with you. One is the beginning of play on Saturday. We adopt this into our rules. Beginning of play every Saturday, we want you to have a prayer. I believe how do we list that, a first to third?
Yeah, basically the teams line up on the first and third base lines. The captain of the home team will be designated to lead the group in prayer prior to the beginning of play on that particular weekend. So if you have a doubleheader, it's just the first game that you need to do this, but you can decide who your captain is and they can lead the teams.
And if you don't have someone that wants to do it, by all means feel free to take charge and do it yourself, or appoint someone else to do it. It's up to you how you want to do it. As you've noticed on our website, I'm sure most of you visited. If any of you haven't, it's lsselect.org. It's easy to find. You can go to a Google search page, type in Lone Star Select, and they'll find us. Anything to do with Lone Star and baseball, it's going to point to us. We secured everything we could. We have a Facebook account, Lone Star Select. There'll be quite a few things there. We encourage you that if you have feedback, post it on there. If you see good things, post it on there. Our league play is going to be 2 weeks of play with 1 week off. The premise behind that and the purpose of that is to allow you the freedom to go play in the Super Series or U-Trip or whatever type of tournament you'd like to go play. If you want to host your own tournament, you can do that as well. We don't govern that.
Or you can take the weekend off.
Yeah, you can go fishing if you want to. That is the way we've structured it, and we're going to stick with that structure. We had some of the other coaches in here earlier, and we talked to them about it, what their thoughts were. We approved it into our rules, and it's voted in. Now, if there wants to be a change in the future, of course, Sam said, once you play the season with us, you'll have a vote, both softball and baseball. Everyone will have a vote. You'll have a say in what happens in your league. It's not going to be a board of directors saying this is what you're going to do. You tell us what you want to do, and we're going to make it happen. The officiating, you'll notice on our site that we have a place for our officials to sign up. You will not schedule your officials. We will schedule them for you. You will not know who they are until they walk on the field. When the game's over, you will be able to go in and critique and score your umpires. That is how we're going to pick and choose who the umpires for the end of season tournament is going to be. It's not that we want to try to govern our umpires or say, oh, well, we don't want to use you or we don't want to use this one. The top 20, 25, whatever we deem necessary is who we'll pick and bring to the end of season tournament. We have our baseball that we use. It's a Pro 9. It's about 4 levels above. It should be one going around the room here somewhere. Unless my friend in Panola County still got in his pocket.
I did want to make a quick comment about the umpires so that you understand. We really feel that coaches are held accountable by your parents, and you hold your team accountable to you in their play on the field and how they act. And so we're doing the same thing with our umpires. We're trying to make sure that the umpires are held accountable to you as well. So we're not trying to play Big Brother and try to find people that are doing this or that. We're just trying to hold everybody accountable. So at the end of every game, you will be able to provide feedback, and we want the best umpires. And the best is what we will have at the end of the season championship. So if you got feedback, positive or negative, whatever it may be, you have the opportunity to do that. It's all about accountability. That's the way this organization is set up and structured. And so that's where that's coming from. We're not trying to say that they're bad umpires or good umpires, but the truth is we've got teams traveling an hour and a half sometimes to go to a game, and you deserve to have good officiating. You don't need the guy that's the brother of the cousin of the uncle down the street that comes out there in shorts and throws his gear on over his shorts and walks out there. You deserve professional umpires. And so we're going to make sure that they have been registered, and we will hold our umpires accountable because of that. So that's the whole premise behind it.
Along with that, you'll notice that this season, our preseason tournament is going to be here in Mount Pleasant. We are still looking at where we're going to have it for the end of season shootout tournament. Right now we're leaning toward Paris, but we haven't made a final decision. Everybody gets to bid on our tournaments. We don't just say we're going to hold it in Mount Pleasant all the time. We're going to move that around. There's a reason behind that. quite a few reasons, actually. One is so everybody's not having, one group is not always having to get a hotel. Secondly, we want to bring our kids to your area to showcase them. Thirdly, we want to help boost your economy. We want to see you open a concession stand and bring in revenue. We want to see you and your team grow. We don't want to see one area growing all the time, everybody's having to come play at it. So we're going to move them around, and we're going to base that on who gives us the best fields. And the best, not to sound financial, but the best bang for the buck. Who's going to give us the best tournament? That's what we're looking at. Our season will be 8 weeks of play. That's 8 weeks total throughout the season. Now the season will be, I believe it's 3 months long, isn't it?
Starts
Approximately
March
3
3rd,
months.
ends at the end of May.
End of May. So it's approximately 3 months long, but it's 8 weeks of play. Trying to think if there's anything I'm not covering here. I think I've pretty much covered how we're going to play everything with the officials. Our rules that we adopted today will go live on the website possibly tonight or tomorrow. We'll try to get those out as quick as we can so you can look at them. We will be playing Major League Baseball rules, and we would like to talk to some of the softball folks afterwards before we adopt which set of rules we're going to play with. We're looking at ASA, but we'd like to get your feedback and opinion first.
And it's really more the minor adjustments. I mean, Major League Baseball rules, they're straight baseball rules, but we have implemented some unique rules, and we can go over those with you if you'd like to talk about it. We will also put them out on the website so that you see them, but we want to make sure that we do any unique things we need to do on the softball side as well.
Right. So with that said, any of you have any questions as far as, let's start with the baseball side first. So if any of you have any baseball questions, please ask them now. Now's the time.
Once the season starts, if we're registered and everything's set, got the schedule made out, we don't have to call no umpires, nothing. The time, all we gotta do is show up and the umpires will take care of it.
Right, now if
So
you
we gotta
have,
pay them when they get there.
that's correct. Now, if you have requirements of your fields, like for instance, if you're assigned the field at a certain time, you need to let us know that prior to scheduling so that we schedule the fields correctly. So as an example, if you're on your fields from 3 o'clock to 7 o'clock on Saturdays is when you get the fields, we need to know that ahead of time so that when we're doing the schedules that we have that. But once the schedules are set, they will actually feed into your team page. And those of you that haven't registered yet, I guess I probably should walk you through that. Once you have registered with our league, you will receive an email back from us inviting you to set up your own team page. And every team in our league gets its own team page. You have the ability to go in and set that team page up the way you would like it to look, but you will also be able to keep your team schedule, your practice schedules, and so forth on there. Those of you that have some parents that are technology inclined with an iPad, iPhone, Android, whatever it may be, and utilize the system iScore, which is now owned by ESPN, you will actually have the ability to upload all your statistics from your games directly into your team page. And if everybody does that, we will actually be able to actually show the entire division statistics as far as how kids are hitting, how kids are pitching, fielding percentage, and so forth. And you have the ability to go in and put on there what you want to show and what you don't want to show. So you pretty much make your own team page your own. So it's a nice little setup. It's free for you as being a part of the league. It's a really nice setup, and you can make it the way you want to make it. You can do everything from putting your weather forecast, weather app widget on there to Major League Baseball scores, or you can make your page wherever way you want to make it, and feel free to call me and I'll help you walk you through it. But the premise behind what we're trying to do is give you something that's very interactive, but also make it easy on the coaches so that you have one-stop shop. You can communicate via text or via email directly from that page to your entire team. And the way you set it up is you invite the people to join your page. So once you know what kids are on your team, they give you an email address, you just put it in and it invites them to come join the page. You'll be able to put your roster in there. You'll be able to put the pictures of your players. We require a picture of every player with at least their number showing. So if you don't have your numbers on the front of your jerseys, just hold a number or Photoshop a number in. But we need to see their face and their number so we can compare the rosters. The rosters will be frozen on the 23rd of March before the 5th game. So if somebody decides they want to schedule off for that weekend and play the weekend before, the weekend of March 17th, which is an off week for us, let's say you wanted to do something on the 23rd and the other team agrees with it, you would have to have it done prior to the beginning of the 5th game to freeze your rosters. Now, freezing the rosters means that you will not be able to go in and adjust or change your rosters. We will shut that part of it down. Your team has to play, the player has to play 75% of their games during the regular season in order to be eligible for the end of season championship.
If you'll notice, I don't know how many of you guys can see it, but this is one of my team pages I have set up right now. Of course, you can't see the roster from there. And I can't see your rosters as a coach. Now, myself and Sam, we are administrators of the site. We can see all of your data, and we have to be able to in order to help you. We're not going to share your data. Your data is yours. We don't need it, we're not going to give it to anyone else. But you can see the team page there and how it's set up. That's just a quick setup for me. Works well with me. I can text all of my parents from there and it doesn't cost me anything. All those text messages are free. So it works really well. You can keep up with your scores. Like Sam said, everything you need is there, and you'll see information from us, from the league will actually come through your team pages. Those announcements will be there for you. It's great for scheduling practices. All of my practices are scheduled, and all of my players, they know to look at that to go find out when they're playing.
You can actually set up to actually alerts everybody when practice is. Yes, sir.
Couple questions. One, are y'all gonna try to set up by age group, different divisions, like so you don't have a major team playing a double A team? And the second question is for the traveling team, if it happens to be a round robin type deal, is there any way to have the team that's having to travel in be able to play the back-to-back so the parents don't have to hang out for another hour, 42 minutes?
Your host team that's hosting a round robin will always play first and third. Travel teams will play first, second, third. So the travel team will never be sitting and waiting. That's not our intent. We don't want to sit you guys for too long. The host team, they live right down the road. We hope they do. So if they need to go home for a little while, they can. Most of the time they're going to sit around and watch a game.
And the home team is the host. They're usually manning the concession stands and so forth. But,
Right.
As far as your question about AA and AAA, we will be you've got one age division. You will all be competing within that age division. If we have multiple teams up to a point of, say, 12 and more, we will divide the teams into regionally located divisions to cut down on travel distance and so forth, but it just depends. In spring, that's usually not as big an issue. Right now, it looks like we've got 11 and 12 would probably be the two areas that are most apt to possibly go to two separate divisions within the age group. But it'll be based off regions, not based off of the level of the team. Most of the teams in our group that are in this room are all pretty close to the same type of teams. We've got a few that are league teams that are going to play in our league that maybe have not played at this level, and they'll struggle a little bit early, but they'll pick right back up. But we've got some very high quality teams. I know on the baseball side, we've got some of the top teams in every age division in the entire area in our league. So it's going to be some very high level competition.
As of right now, it looks like 12U will probably split. It has 11 in it, and our intent is to potentially split into a north and south group, because the longest distance of travel is going to be the north-south corridor, basically. The east-west, not so much. I know we do have a 10U team out of Dallas. What was the name of that team? Lone Oak. They're going to travel over here to us to play every weekend that they play. They don't have a home field, or they're not listing a home field. So
We've got quite a few
that's
teams.
us right here. We don't, it's not Dallas, but
Yeah.
good with that.
That's 10.
Yeah, that's like
Okay.
Greenville.
Yeah.
okay.
But we also have, just so you're aware, most of the teams that are signed up out there, we've still got quite a few teams that have not even signed up. We've got teams that are interested from Lufkin all the way to Dallas and so forth. So I couldn't tell you today what the boundaries are based off the age groups. We will know the final deadline for sign up is the Friday before our preseason tournament, and we'll know pretty well exactly how many teams we have in every division.
Now, one thing I will say about the website, and it's a very good idea for each of you coaches to go in on your site and pick a Google map and mark your field location so that other people can map to you. I don't know how many times I've traveled 2 hours away to play baseball, and the directions I got put me in somebody's soybean field. You know, so if you've got a place where you can mark it, where we can pull it up, that would be really good. That will also help us in breaking down divisions too, and how we need to break out the different divisions. That's probably enough about the website. Does anybody have any other questions or concerns or anything you want to bring up? No, the Paris guys were here for our earlier meeting.
I think you need to go over the pitching distances and the base distance.
That was it, sheet.
While you're looking that up, let me talk real quick also about the team. Because we're a 501(c)(3)